forms of it. So today's lessons or sermons pretty much will be a teaching one. Okay, so we're teaching sermon to look deeper into what love is, okay, and what love is not. Okay, at least according to how God uses love. Okay, so not yet. Sorry, you can go back. So God is love. So the foundational scripture will come from 1 John 4, right? And it says, verse 16 says, God is love. But I'm going to read from 1 John 4, 7 through 19. This is coming from the Bible that is in the pews. So, God's love and ours. Dear friends, let's love one another, for love comes from God. Everyone who loves has been born of God and knows God. Whoever does not love does not know God, because God is love. This is how God showed his love among us. He sent his one and only Son into the world, that we might live through him. This is love. Not that we love God, but that he loved us and sent his Son as an atoning sacrifice for our sins. Dear friends, since God so loved us, we also ought to love one another. No one has ever seen God, but if we love one another, God lives in us and his love is made complete in us. This is how we know that we live in him and he in us. He has given us of his Spirit, and we have seen and testified that the Father has sent his Son to be the Savior of the world. If anyone acknowledges that Jesus is the Son of God, God lives in them, and they in God. And so we know and rely on the love God has for us. God is love. Whoever lives in love lives in God, and God in them. This is how love is made complete among us, so that we will have confidence on the day of judgment. In this world, we are like Jesus. There is no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. The one who fears is not made perfect in love. We love because he first loved us. Praise the Lord for his word. Praise the Lord for the comfort that comes from his word. So God is love. Let me go to the first slide and transition. So love God's way. So I saw this quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson, and it said, love is the essence of God. Love comes from God. It originates from God, right? And so we know that God has no end, no beginning, right? So that means it's existed as long as he's existed. If it's the essence of it, if it's coming from him, right? And the idea that we love one another, right, as verse 7 mentions, for these reasons. Number one, love is of God, right? It originates from him, as was already mentioned. But also, too, number two, it's part of our identity. It's part of what makes us who we are. We are separated, consecrated, and peculiar, right? Because of this love, right? This love that God's way, God's love that he has. It sets us apart because it makes us very different. Because the way we interact, not only with God, right? The vertical interaction, the relationship, but also the horizontal relationship with other people. It's always different. It's not the way the world loves or interacts, because, I mean, let's be honest. If I interact the way that I wanted to with people in the world, it would be really bad. Because especially when my younger years, as one of my teachers would say, I could hit him in the throat really, really quick. Like I was very harsh, very direct, very blunt, and I did not speak in love. Okay, I did not speak in love. I spoke in order to gratify me, myself, and I really didn't care about how the other person would receive it. Okay, but that's not necessarily what God is asking us to do. Okay, so we need to be careful to ensure that we are loving the way that God loves, because we replicate him. We are made in his image, as Genesis says. And so every time that we interact differently with people, as the scripture mentioned, it's showing people that we serve a God that loves in this way. Okay, and they're able to see that in all that we do, in our actions, in our words, on our deeds. We replicate, we show who God is every day. Okay, and so it's part of our identity. Part of it makes us who we are. Okay, so there's a distinguisher too. Not to love means that you don't belong to God. Okay, and the Bible is very clear about that. Either you love like God loves, or you don't. If you don't, you are not of God. Okay? And so automatically you're separated. You're cast into another group. Okay? And so we have to be careful about to ensure that we are loving the way that God loves. because he makes it part of it, what distinguishes us from other people. And number 3, to know God, to love God is to know him. And so I thought it was interesting, the Greek word for know is ginosko, okay? And it's interesting because it talks about, it's an intimacy, right? As Pastor Gloria and Pastor Will Butler is talking about through the marriage ministry about how when they were dating, it's the idea of constantly talking. They're talking late into the late hours of the night in order to get to know each other. Okay, it's the idea that it's the same thing. The more time we spend with God through prayer, through understanding his word, through focusing on him, we know him more. But it's a deeper knowledge, because in the Jewish culture, that word actually is deeper intimacy. It's actually the intimacy that resides between a husband and wife, right? The connection between a man and a woman. Okay? That is a level of intimacy is discussing, and even science validates this point, because it said the more a husband and wife are together in an intimate fashion, the more that their bodies become connected. So literally, it's a spiritual and a physical combining of two people into one. Okay, it's the very same thing that God desires for us, that we become one with God. It's very, very deep. Okay, and so it's not a superficial type of joining. It's one where your very essence, everything is connected to God. The way you think, your heart, your mind, your body, your spirit, everything is connected. Okay, everything is connected. So this love is a deep love. It's a deep, deep, deep love, and it requires you to know God like you know your partner, if not deeper. Okay, like you know and you're married to God in a sense. You're joined, right? That covenant, okay? And so, again, we talk about him being that love is him in essence, but also too, even his actions, right, are evidence of his love. And so we go to the next slide, please. So, well, what is love? There's so many different definitions of this love. There's like 7 different types of love. I think there's 7 different types, at least from the perspective of the Greeks. Right? There's 7 different types, and so we're going to quickly go through these 7, because I want to go stick to the lesson, but I also want us to understand what love is not. Okay? We need to understand that to make a distinction what love is not. So the first is eros, right? Erotic love, right? Named after the Greek god Eros. And so it's about the idea of having a passionate love. This love burns quick, but it dies out quick too. It's like a flash. Okay? There's no substance really to it, because really it's about self-gratification. That's what it's all about. Self-gratification is a desire, it's a need of the flesh. Okay? It's a need of the flesh. Okay? It's an example is, I love you because you make me happy, but when you don't make me happy, I don't love you. I don't. Right? And it's very short. So it's conditional. You can fall out of it very, very easily. Okay? Very, very easily. Then the next is storge, which is the idea of family love. It's a connection between parents and their children, or even childhood friends. It's that type of love. And so eros is not mentioned in the Bible at all. At least not from the Greek, is not mentioned. Storge, family love, is mentioned, but in connection to other loves. Okay? So you can look at example between David and Jonathan, that type of love, where you have the strong love. Some will say, you could either argue that that's later on going to be the philia, the brotherly love as well. But David and Jonathan saw themselves more like family than like whether they really saw themselves as a pair. Okay? And philia is the root word for Philadelphia, right? The city of brotherly love. Okay? So I did that. It's a giving as well as a receiving. Reciprocal. Okay? So the other person is going to expect that you're going to give them something in return for either affection or the time that you're investing in them. They're going to expect that. Okay? And it's one that is used a lot in the Bible. It's used in multiple references in the Bible as filial, or some people know as filial, right, with the O sound. And so it's a fondness or likeness for one another. Okay, but this is also not the love that is described for God. It's a love that is discussed in the Bible, and it's even discussed when Peter is talking to Jesus, and Jesus saying, Peter, do you love me? Peter uses this in response to Jesus' question. right? This brotherly love, right? Which is very different from what Jesus asked him, okay? Because Jesus asked him for a much stronger version, which we'll talk about later. But Peter said, all I have is this right now. That's all I have is this brotherly love, okay? Because the love that Jesus asked required a bit more, okay, from Peter. And so if we can get to the next slide. So there's this, I thought these were interesting because these are not, go back. These were not as well known. So you have the ludus, which is a playful, teasing type of love. Okay, when you first are in a relationship, you're like, oh my goodness, you're playing around, you're making jokes. Okay, this is a ludus. It's discussed as what makes your heart flutter. Okay, yes. That's what yes. And give that sense of you're flirting when you talk to that person. You're like, oh, I just love talking to them. Oh my goodness, I just feel so great. That's what ludus is. But the only problem with ludus is there's an imbalance of ludus, and even with eros, it can become mania, right? Which is obsessive love. So you have to be very, very careful with this type of love so that it doesn't transition to something that's negative, okay? Because it becomes more about I desire and not enough about what you desire for the other person. You just want that person in your life to the point that it becomes obsessive compulsion. Yes. The next one I thought was really interesting, self-love. Okay, not discussed as much. Okay? Not discussed as much as the idea that, at least for the Greeks, they believe that it's a core of the relationships. Okay? It's not what we believe, but this is what the Greeks believe. It's a core of relation that in order to really love and care for someone, you have to be able to do it for yourself. Okay? The Bible says, love your neighbor as yourself. Okay? So if you don't have self-love, you don't know how to love your neighbor because you don't even know how to love yourself. So sometimes the core essence of really learning how to love our neighbors for us to self-heal. To heal the deep parts of ourselves or deep or recesses in our hearts that we have not healed, whether it's from past trauma, whether it's from issues with our childhood, whether it's the interaction with people, some people have church hurt. It's an ability for us to release those things and to really heal the parts of ourselves that need to be healed so that we can truly extend love to someone else. Because now it can flow out of us appropriately. Okay? And so in love your neighbors yourself is seen in Matthew 22 as well as in Mark 12. And one that I thought was interesting was pride and love because I've been sitting on the marriage ministry a lot. And so I'm seeing, as I was reading this, I saw evidence of this. So it's the idea of a very mature love that exists between a couple that have been married for a while, decades. Okay? It's the idea that they can finish each other's sentences, they're comfortable in the presence of one another. Like when they sit together, it brings them comfort, peace when they're with one another. It's a very, very, very mature love, okay? And it transcends the physical. They're beyond that. I mean, the physical is there, but it's beyond that, right? It's beyond eros, okay? It's beyond the ludus. It's something that's grounded in their ability to understand each other. They don't have to say one word. They understand each other. But yet, this mature love is still not the love that God expresses, or that he's talking about in 1 John. Okay, instead, if we can go to the next slide, it's called agape. Okay? Agape. Which is interesting to me because agape is seen at least by Paul and the Greeks because they wrote in Greek and they translated the Bible into Greek during this time, even in the Old Testament. And it's the idea that it's the highest form of love. It's a love that is attributed to God because God removes himself in the sense that his own desires and needs in order to look out for the betterment, the well-being of his people. Even though his people, Israel, right, in the Hebrews, even though they were idolaters, even though there was, and the Bible calls them adulterers, as it was mentioned by my niece and I, talking about adultery in the Bible, even though they did those acts, he had to step back and say, I forgive them, I release them in order to ensure the well-being of his people. Okay? It's one that you really have to, it's unconditional. Right? Jeremiah 31:3 says, I have loved you with an everlasting love. There's no limit. in forgiveness and kindness. For it to exist, you have to be able to release the other party from expectations or even unmet expectations. You have to be able to release them. And you don't, you can't have this type of love because it's not based upon what the other party is doing. It's based upon the idea that no matter what, you want what is best for that other person. No matter what they do to you, how they treat you. And this is very, very hard in the flesh to do because you have to battle your flesh day in, day out in order to get this. You have to lose yourself. You have to sacrifice your flesh in order to get this. It's difficult. Okay, which is why it's the highest form, why it's only attributed to God, because God is only spirit, right? He's not bound to fleshly attributes or things of the flesh like greed and pride and envy. He's not bound by those things. And it's surprisingly used 320 times in the New Testament. 320 times. Wow. The most used version of love in the Bible is agape. Okay? And so, if we can go, so when we look at 1 Corinthians 13, understand those attributes are because of the ability to release self and to think about the other person. It's about being able to give those things to the other person, okay, without condition. And if we go to the next one, okay? So if we see that other person, the other party as being something that is so precious that I die to myself daily in order to ensure the best thing for them, there's a reason for it, okay? It's sacrificial. You have to sacrifice yourself because it's not about you. Cannot be about you. Okay? Cannot be about you at all. Okay? You sacrifice your vain desires, your goals, your wants, what you think is right. Okay? You sacrifice all of that. You have to. You have to. Okay? Because again, it's not about you. Your focus is the other person because they are more precious than you are. Their well-being, their future, their potential is much more precious than you are. When God looks at us, he sees the potential, okay? He carves out our past because he knows, right, what we can arrive to, what we can be, right? Because he knows the end from the beginning. He's an author and perfecter, right? So he already knows what you can be, okay? So it's him looking at that, the potential of man, and saying, I want that. I want that for my children. I want them to arrive to that end state, okay? So despite how they treat me, despite what I know as God I deserve, my God, despite what I know I deserve as God, I released it, right? Because I want better. I want better for my children. I want them to arrive to that end state. And so instead, go back, right? Instead, you give up. God is constantly giving up, right? And the most precious thing he gave up is that in order for us to live right, because of the punishment of sin that arrived due to Adam and Eve's disobedience to God, okay, because of the weight of sin, the death that sin causes to us, we live through Jesus to obtain that eternal life, to be able to tap into that everlasting love. Because sin robbed us of that, right? According to 1 John 4 and 9. Sin has robbed us of that. And so God then replicates the very love that he's asking us to do because as the scripture mentions, as past sermons mentioned, he sacrificed Christ in order for us to be able to obtain that better end state, that better life. Okay? And so Abraham and Isaac became the prototype, or archetype, I should say, for that type of sacrifice. For a father being willing, despite what he's going to lose out, despite the fact that that's his only son, despite the fact that the promise rests in that son, willing to give all that up because he was asked to, because he needs to. Okay? He needs to. Granted, God stopped Abraham from doing it, but there's the idea that he was willing to do it. He bound Isaac. And I remember I kept thinking about this binding, right? Jesus was bound. Okay? He became, right, the mediator, as the scripture says. He became the mediator between man and God. He has to be. The propitiation, right? He is the atoning sacrifice, okay? As harsh as it seems that a father would leave his son at the cross, it's because for the betterment of a people, nations, ethnic groups, he released him, bound him up, allowed him to be bound, and to be offered up and sacrificed.
Amen.
Even though he bled, and I'm sure it cut into his core, even though Jesus is crying out because they had that intimacy. Understand, they had that intimacy. They had that connection because Jesus knows the Father, right? So he knows intimately, and he sought out the connection with his Father, so he knows him. So understand that when that weight of sin is there, that there is an attachment. So God understands that he has now lost connection to the very one that he created. And understand that affects him too. It doesn't only affect Jesus, it affects him too. Okay, but he's willing. He's willing to because it's needed to, because Jesus has to become the Savior of the world. And so it made me think, what is binding us? Right? What is holding us back? Because when Jesus resurrected, the binds were gone. There was no more bondage, nothing that held him back. What is it that holds us and keeps us from releasing the things of the flesh in order for us to perfect, right? To be able to truly accept and truly walk in the love that God has, or God wants us to imitate and to emulate, right? What is that hold us? Is it the things of the past? Is it the anger toward our spouse, anger toward people? What is it that keeps us from walking in that? And it's something that individually we must all look at ourselves and say, God, what is it keeping me from loving my neighbor as myself? What is that limiting me from loving my spouse in the way that you've commanded me to in Ephesians? Okay? What is keeping me from respecting my spouse, right, as you have commanded me to? What is that limits us? What is that holds us back? Okay? And so, just like this says, God has provided the only way, right? Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Right? Each person must have a choice. And this is true. Love is not only action, it's also choice. You choose to love. God chose to love us. God chose to, because of the love he has for us, to sacrifice his son. God chose to leave him at the cross. God chose that, right? Love has to be also expressed through action. So my next slide is a question to all of you. What is your choice? Right? What is your choice? Do you choose to love as God loves or as you want to? Okay? Do you choose to accept God's love or reject it? Because that is also your choice. Okay? Do you choose to love your neighbor as God commands you to walk around in hate? Right? Because we think that we know better. Our own knowledge, right? The Bible says that we're pulling down that knowledge. We have to replace our own thoughts and the way we think with God's way of thinking. And it may not make sense to us, but it doesn't have to make sense to us.
Yes.
Because if we're truly saying that God is the head of our life, our Lord, we obey without understanding. Right? Because obedience is better than sacrifice. Okay? We have to obey. And so that's a beauty I felt in God's love. It's the ultimate beauty too, is that you have a choice. Right? It's still up to you. I'm like, man, God, you're the greatest. I mean, you have all power, all authority, omnipotent, omnipresent, and you still give us a choice. We don't walk around as robots. The angels are commanded, they have no choice but to glorify God, but yet we have the choice to open our mouths and to praise. We have the choice to cleave onto him and to have that intimacy. We have that choice. And he allows us to, all because of love. My God, all because of love. And so it's up to you to choose. You choose. And you walk in that choice. But at the end of the day, I hope you choose wisely. Okay? Thank you so much. I have one last thing. As I was looking at 1 Corinthians 13, I don't know, I was looking at it and I just saw it in a different way after studying this. And I'm going to read just how I saw it. And some of it's going to be paraphrased. So this is 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 13. So attributes of love, patience, kindness, right? You can't be envious. You can't boast, so there's no pride. You can't dishonor, no self-seeking, right? You can't be easily angered. And you can't keep any records of wrong, right? The slate is wiped clean. God said, I'll cast your sins as far as the east is from the west. And we need to do the same for everyone else. You delight in no evil. There's no wrongdoing.
Yes.
You rejoice and stand in truth. You protect, you trust, you hope, and you persevere. Because love does not fail or fade. Even as our spiritual gifts may, right? Because the scripture talks about the tongues, prophecies, knowledge. Those are all gifts of the Spirit.
Yes.
Okay? And they all go away. All of them go away. Because at the end of the day, we are limited in the knowledge and understanding that we know. Right? Because we're limited by our flesh. But when we are completely spirit, okay, those limitations fade away. Paul likens it to a maturity, a spiritual maturity. He said, as a child, our thoughts, speech, actions, reasonings are influenced by our senses. We're sensual creatures. Our environment, right, and our interpretation of that environment. But when we mature, we become spiritually mature, or we are understanding the knowledge of God, intertwined with God, wrapped around God is one of the ways that the scripture mentions it. When we mature, we become men or mature.
Yes.
Those immature tendencies need to be left behind. Okay? Because now we see ourselves as God sees. Right? We're made in His image. But soon when we're in full glory, we'll be face to face. Right? Because we are now able to be face to face. Because we are a full spirit. Right? There is no flesh.
Wow.
We possess all truth. We possess all knowledge. Right? Because it becomes like this.
Yes.
Even then, all that remains and all that will matter is your faith that pleases God, your hope which anchors you in God, and the love which is the center of all that we do.
Yes.
And God still says the greatest of all these things is love, because He is love. I thank God so much for the reading of His Word. I thank so much for the knowledge and insight the Spirit has given me into this Word. And I just praise Him, and I pray that the love of God will rest in your heart and be expressed through your actions and through your words, so all that you interact with and all that you do. Thank you so much. Praise be to God.